So good morning. Today we're going through the unit HLTAAP001, that's Recognise Healthy Body Systems. So throughout this unit we're going to learn about the different systems that the human body has and how it links together to form one healthy human body. So we're going to be talking about medical terminology, how we're going to describe the structure of the body and the location of the major organs of the body. So starting here, we've got the cardiovascular system. So we're going to go through and we're going to identify what is actually in the cardiovascular system. So from our lungs and our oxygen and how it's delivered around our body and so forth and so on. And then we're going to talk about our heart. We're going to find out a bit of information about how the heart works, how the arteries and veins work throughout the heart and how the blood's pumped around the body. Then we're going to go on to our respiratory system. So our respiratory system involves our nasal cavity, our nostrils, our mouths, our esophagus, our lungs, and you're going to learn a little bit about how each one of those work throughout the unit. Then we're going to follow on with our musculoskeletal system. So this is where we're breaking down between our bones and ligaments and tendons and muscles and how they all interact together and how they make us move. Then we're going to head into our endocrine system. So this is the system that has all our glands and our hypothalamus and things like that. So this also includes the reproductive system. So you're going to learn a bit about how those glands work and what they do within the body and how they maintain temperature and lactic acid and how they maintain your reproductive organs and things like that. Then we're going to head into the nervous system. So this is where we've got a set of central nerves that run through our body and that are connected to our brain and how the messages are going to get sent from the brain through those nerves to be able to make us feel and move. We're also going to touch on the digestive system. So this is including from the esophagus through to the stomach, the liver, the gallbladder, down through the intestines, including the colon, and how we ingest and digest food, and then the elimination of the waste. Speaking of waste, we're going to talk about the urinary system. So this includes our kidneys, urethra, and bladder, and how that function works and how it filters through what we do and what we don't need in our body and expels it. We're going to touch on the reproductive system in both males and females, and so that you have a clear understanding of how each sex works so that you'll be able to provide a holistic approach to care to the reproductive areas. The integumentary system, so this is the largest system that we have, as it's the largest organ of our body, being our skin. So we're going to learn about how we're going to maintain the integumentary system. So we're going to talk about how the skin can get broken down, how we can maintain a good skin integrity for our clients. Then we're going to go into our lymphatic system. So this is to talk about all our lymph nodes, our spleens, our ducts, our thyroid, and how those work within the other links of our system. The special senses being our vision, we're going just to touch slightly on how our vision actually works and how you can maintain your client's vision and good eye hygiene. Our hearing and equilibrium. So this is, again, we're only going to touch slightly on this throughout the unit, just to let you know how you can maintain your client's hearing and the hygiene of the ear. Our smell, much the same. And our taste. So you'll find throughout this unit, we're going to go through and break up how the taste buds are formed on the tongue. You'll also learn on how to maintain good oral hygiene for your clients. Cells, tissues, and organs. Then you're going to find that you're going to go through a series of activities or knowledge assessment questions. So what I'm asking you to do is to have a look through the PowerPoint that you've been uploaded and have a read through your learner guide prior to you starting on these questions. You're going to give yourself a little bit of understanding at then what these questions are going to ask of you. At any stage, you're welcome to go back through the PowerPoint or go back through the learner guide to identify if you need to reread over anything. That's perfectly fine. You just need to remember that when you're starting to answer your questions, is that you are answering them in your own words. Okay, this is going to display to your trainer that you have an understanding of the question. Okay, so here we're going to review the factors that contribute to the maintenance of a healthy body system. So here we're going to look at what makes up a healthy body system. Is it diet? Is it exercise? Is it the environment? So we're going to start to have a look and delve further into those types of things. So as I mentioned with the exercise, you know, your clients could be elderly, your clients could be disabled or have mobility issues. So we need to have a look at what's the most appropriate part of exercise that we can deliver to that individual under their circumstances. Mental health checkup. So this is going to be anything from getting your eyes tested, to getting your hearing tested, to taking your clients to the dentist, mammograms, bone density, immunisation in the elderly and the disabled, making sure that their vaccinations are up to date. And we're talking about diet here as well. So we want to have a look at our individual client, their mobility, and therefore structure a diet to them specifically for their individual needs. So if you have someone that isn't got a lot of mobility, we're not going to have a high carb, high sugar diet. We're going to have more healthy fruit and veggies and grains and things like that because they're not moving around as much as someone that would be more active. We're having a look here at the water intake that's required per day. So we have broken it down from infants, children, adults, pregnant women, lactating women, and the elderly. As you can see, there's quite a substantial difference as it goes down the graph. So just familiarise yourself with that, as your clients can range from lots of different ages. So we want to make sure that we're giving them enough water. Maintenance of the body temperature. So we need to maintain around 36 to 37 degrees as a healthy body system. So we have to ask ourselves, how are we going to do that? So we're going to do it by controlling the hypothalamus through the endocrine system. We're going to make sure that the client is wearing correct clothing to the weather. We're going to make sure that the environment is in a safe and stable temperature as well. Then we're going to talk a little bit about blood pressure. So how we're going to reduce high blood pressure. So obviously we want to cut out a lot of salt because that's not going to be healthy for us. We want to introduce a lot of fruit and veggies into our diet. We want to become physically more active, and obviously we want to cut down on that alcohol. So we want to stop smoking, we want to cut down on the coffee, and we want to replace those things with more waters and electrolytes to be able to keep us more hydrated. So as you can see with the healthy pyramid, it's still much the same. We've got all our veggies and our fruits and our grains on the bottom, and that's what we want to be promoting to our clients first and foremost. Of course, we're going to bring in some protein to top up the energy levels and things like that, but we really want to make sure that we eliminate or try to minimize as much as possible those fatty, sugary soft drinks and coffee and things like that, because that's not going to maintain a healthy body. It's not going to maintain a healthy mind. And as we are looking after our clients in a holistic approach to care, that's what we're looking at, is maintaining their whole body system to be healthy. Okay, so we need to evaluate how relationships between different body systems affect and support healthy functioning. So the body system is made up of 13 systems, and it's all linked together like a chain. So what you want to do is you want to keep those links of a chain nice and strong. So if you have one system, say the respiratory system when you're having a cold, that link has got a bit weaker. So then it's going to pull away from the other links, being the other systems of the body. Then that's where you're going to start to find that there's knock-on effects happening through the body, not just in the respiratory system, but it might knock on to the endocrine system where you're getting a fever, so it's not maintaining your core temperature. It could knock onto your digestive system because you're not wanting to eat as well as what you normally would when you're feeling okay. So you can see that there are interlinks to each system. So we want to make sure that we can maintain those systems as much as possible. Okay, so all of the body systems work together to maintain a state of optimum health. So while each system does rely on other systems, it has its own core system that it's going to be working through. Okay, so we need to embrace equality of work activities by using and sharing information about healthy functioning of the body. So using and sharing information about healthy functioning of the body. So what does this mean? This means about communicating with your colleagues that you're working with. So you have a client and there may be changes. He may have caught a cold, he may have a temperature or a fever. He's feeling down, his mental status has changed. What you need to do is as a handover to your other colleague that is taking over your shift so that he or she has the underpinning knowledge of what has happened with that client in the previous 8 hours. If the fever has changed, if the sore throat has got worse. We need to communicate this so that the standard of care from one shift to another is transparent across the board. Okay, so that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the overview of the Healthy Body Systems unit. Please feel free to contact your trainer if you're having any problems at all throughout this unit, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.